Hello, friends. I'm DJ Lance Rock, and I have to say, Rock and Roll Grad School is awesome!
This is Rock and Roll Grad School with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling. All their favorite songs are slow and sad.
Hello, kiddies. We're going to have a real good time together today. And we didn't discuss this beforehand, but today we're going to talk with Gus G from Firewind.
Oh,
The Greek guitar god.
indeed.
Delightful interview, delightful person, even though he does not remember any restaurants in Boston's Back Bay. We'll let that slide.
You know, it happens.
Yes. Firewind has a new record. Gus also played with Ozzy for years and years, so he's got a good pedigree as far as that goes. Some other things we need to touch musically. You, next week, by this time, you will have found what you are looking for, we all hope.
Yeah, I hope I will have.
We are expecting a full report.
I know, I keep seeing, I keep getting calls from my friends going, did you see David Beckham there? I'm like, I haven't been yet, but I saw David Beckham's pictures on Instagram. Did you see Mark and Kelly there last night? Again, I'm going
there, right,
in a couple nights.
So
did I see Larry Mullen Jr.? I hope to have made out with Larry Mullen Jr. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I have tickets for another concert
that
I found out today, which is when I feel that you should be coming in to go with us. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know what it's going to be?
Is this the Outlaw Festival? The closest they're playing to Philly is 2 hours away. And
we have an extra ticket.
And the Elder is going to be on tour that week.
Maybe the Elder and you could come up.
It's tempting. Is it the first run? I guess we should say who is on the bill for this. So the first half in June and July is Willie Nelson and Family. So basically Willie Nelson and Promise of the Real. A certain guy, as this folk singer guy, Bob somebody. And then Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. And that's the real knife in the back where you're just like, oh my God.
And the Coug.
Well, he's on the second half of so in August they start up again. Okay,
everyone you've mentioned is on, and the Coug.
And the Coug is playing in Detroit. Wow.
And Northport, Michigan's own.
Oh boy.
Billy Strings. Did you know that he was from
No, yeah, I did not.
Used to play right in my little backyard up there. And
he probably played in your literal backyard.
He played in pretty much, not my literal backyard, but Billy Strings.
Yeah.
And Brittany Spencer, Solis and Southern Avenue.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, just so you know, we're going. And
it's all right, Ma. I'm only sighing.
It's I'll tell you when it is. When is it? It's in the summer. It's at Pine Knob, infamous Pine Knob.
Sure.
I think it's later, but they're all on it.
We should know part of this is another professional.
It's September 15th.
All right, here's hoping. We should note that some of this is part of a professional project.
Oh, wait, maybe Allison. No, you're right. Allison isn't on it. So see, you're not missing it. But I did see her at Pine Knob.
Right.
I saw them at Pine Knob. Willie and Bob and the Coug.
Yeah. I saw Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan together. It was great.
Well, see, then you don't need to come.
They flipped the bill every night. At least they did at the time. Willie opened the show I went to, played everything you would ever want him to play. On the Road Again, Always on My Mind, Whiskey River, everything. Light, fun. The Sun Goes Down, the set changes, Dylan comes on, opens with his song off the 1991 album Under the Red Sky, which if you're like, I don't know that record, not surprising. But opens with the song God Knows, which the first line of which is God knows you ain't pretty, God knows it's true.
Which, that's awesome.
It was the perfect A-B of like, I'm going to do everything to please this audience and make everyone happy. And then the grumpy old guy's like, get off my lawn. It's perfect.
But that's kind of awesome.
That's why you go to see Bob Dylan.
I know, I'm excited because I have not seen either of them.
It'll be very interesting to see what he's got planned for that. Something else we need to note that happened in your backyard.
Oh dear, which?
This past weekend, the vice president was in Detroit.
Indeed.
And there was a clip that I saw that kind of, I don't want to say, I guess it went viral, of her at De La Soul Records in Detroit. And as she left, she did the kind of thing where the reporters go, "What'd you buy?" And she holds up all of her stuff.
Yes.
And she, first thing she does is takes a Funko Pop out of her bag.
As one should.
And it is of George Clinton. And
as it should be.
You guys know who this is? And there's sort of just silence. And she goes, "Parliament, Funkadelic." And then she goes, "Okay, there needs to be some education going on here." And then pauses a second, goes, "Bootsy Collins? Okay, yeah, there needs to be some education." And so because we have this platform, I thought we needed to extend an invitation for the vice president to appear on our program, and that we would be happy to talk with her about Parliament and George Clinton.
Who's a friend of mine.
George Clinton,
yes.
Personal friend, yes.
Met him twice, one night.
I would expect nothing less.
You know that story.
I do, yes. Where he like said the same thing to you twice, right?
Yes, both times it was highly complimentary.
Well, there you go. So I wanted to read part of this letter I sent. That the children were like, "What, you just wrote to the vice president?"
Of course.
Like, well, someone's got to.
Right.
So I'm going to skip a lot of it, the opening. Though
I don't. We wrote to Doug first.
I didn't mention Doug.
Okay.
I did say I was quite pleased to see her speak out in glowing terms of both George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, and Parliament, even though we are a bicameral country/government.
Okay.
So, and then I go over all of our many plaudits and bona fides. And then I said, I wanted to invite you onto our program to discuss, or if you will, testify in greater depth your stance on Funkadelic and Eddie Hazel's brain-melting 10-minute guitar solo in Maggot Brain.
Nice.
I hope you agree with my co-host and I that more Americans deserve the right to climb aboard the mothership. And actually, now that we're on the topic, what can we as Americans do to fully comprehend the awesome power of a fully operational mothership? Also, where do you stand on the controversial Rubes versus Suckas debate as initially proposed in the 1975 hit Give Up the Funk?
Nice.
Our show has about listeners of continents, but let's be honest, everybody, including atomic dogs, can find something to improve their lives through our discussion of these important issues. My co-host is based in Michigan. I live in two places where clearly more people need to get funked up.
Yes.
As I'm sure you are aware, I got a thing, you got a thing, everybody's got a thing.
Yes.
Sincerely yours, one of the many clones of Dr. Funkenstein. No word back yet from her, but
that's okay.
There's time.
She's traveling, right?
She's welcome.
Absolutely.
So the airwaves, Madam Vice President, are yours. We will defer to you.
Indeed.
You name the time, you name the mothership. We will be there.
We will be there.
Congratulations on the new record. You've got to be thrilled to have it finally coming out for people to hear it.
Yeah, really excited about it, man. I mean, surprisingly, making 10 records, it's still the same feeling like when I was a little kid, making the first record. I still feel that kind of excitement, when I put something out. You just hope somebody would like it.
With all your projects and the various things you've got going on, what is it that makes a Firewind song when you're writing? Is there something where you're like, oh, this has got to go with these guys?
It's hard to say because for me, like, I mainly write for Firewind. And I have my solo project too, my solo records, which are, I can experiment with that. Like, I made an instrumental guitar record a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I guess the way I write, this is the sound of Firewind. Like the way that I write classic heavy metal songs, that's it. If I would have to kind of, like, I don't have to separate it from something else because I don't do anything else.
Right. I mean, it's interesting. It's got to be great for you now. I think you've had this new record and the one prior to it. It's the same lineup of band members, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's got to be great to have some uniformity to it where you kind of know everybody's secret power when you're writing for them to kind of go, oh, I know where he can fit in here and where we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, mainly that falls upon the singer usually, and we've gone through quite a few singers in our career. But of course, yeah, this is more of a thing aimed straight to the singer because ultimately, sure, I'm the musical identity of the band, but the voice is something that what people identify with, the sound of a voice and, something they can sing along to. And of course, getting to know Herbie more the last few years and getting to make the second album with him now, yeah, that was a good thing, and I think that shows on this record that we got to spend more time together. We did some tours now. We already know each other better. We know how each other works, and he was involved in the writing process from the start. It's not like I do everything myself and then I just hand it to him.
Right.
Like he's a co-writer.
In that relationship, is he writing lyrics and giving stuff to you, or are you really sitting on the bus or in the room face to face, eye to eye as you're writing these things?
No, we write remote. So, like I'll do the demos. Usually when I present demos, they are already fairly well made, I would say. They have guitars, bass, drums. I program all the drums. So I'll have like even if I present like half a song, it'll have like a beginning, like a verse and some kind of a chorus idea. And I'll be like, either I will have some lyrical idea already or like a working title, and then he'll take that and create vocal melodies. And I'll do the same. I'll also send the songs also to our producer, Dennis Ward. It's like we're like a team of 3 people that co-write. And yeah, I kind of present the musical arrangement and the idea, and then we all work together on the lyrics and vocal lines.
In that process, since you're spending time by yourself, focusing on these songs and structuring them, how often does it surprise you when they come back with something that's maybe a different take on the song than what you were thinking? Is it often?
Every time, I would say. Like, I mean, that's what I'm looking for, to be surprised.
Yeah.
I just, like, to me, like, part of that whole excitement of creating something is like giving an idea to somebody and then see what they're gonna do with it.
Right.
And especially if it's something that I just happen to really, really love right away. Like sometimes we have to work on things, like, oh, maybe this line, maybe we'll keep like this part and then let's do. So it's like, it's a building process. But there are some times where what we call the magic happens. You'll just get that one demo, the first demo, you'll get it back and it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is a song. I mean, that's priceless. That's awesome.
I was listening to some of the tracks from the record. It's Fallen Angel. It's really nice. That's one of the singles. It's got a nice little peppy beat to it. You can dance to it.
I mean,
How
even
much-
on the video, we had a dancer on the video as well. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's, something for the kids.
yeah.
How much more are you? I feel like there is a Firewind sound, and it's just such a, to me, it seems readily identifiable. Even I know your cover of Maniac.
Mhm.
It still sounds like Firewind. Like it's still got that that, like you said, the musical identity. You can very quickly pick it out. Um, are you do you like trying to push yourself as far as sound wise, or are you just pushing yourself songwriting wise? And obviously guitar wise, you are doing some amazing work there that is depressing for the rest of us. But
No, I mean, thanks, but
listen, if I can get an E7, I am beyond, over the moon. So,
yeah,
but
E7 is it's a good chord.
oh,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. But just saying, comparatively.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, I always try to push the envelope, like with every record. I always try to get better. I mean, I don't know. I don't know any musician that will tell you like, oh, I want to make a shittier record this time. Like
Right.
everybody wants to do better, you know?
Certainly.
That's the
But are
goal, and I
you
think that's
but
part of the
as
musical chase, so to speak.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead. You were saying something.
Well, no, but are you I feel like you guys are sort of setting your sound and you're really focusing on crafting the best songs you can in that Firewind vibe. Are you
Hmm.
interested in going further, or is it sort of like we've got this so good, and you do? Like I'm not saying, oh, this sucks, do something else, but like, do
Right.
you ever kind of go, well, what if we added, I don't know, a horn section, strings? I know you have keyboards on the record, which can kind of comp for some of those things.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I do try to like look, Firewind is not the band that we can get too adventurous. Like, you
Hmm.
know, I wouldn't put like a jazz section within a song. Like that's just not something that I would do, like or something more, I don't know, too far out there.
Well, they
I
burned the
wouldn't
house down. The
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I can try other things like when I do solo records, you know what I mean? Because that's
Mhm.
just my solo thing and I can just go crazy on the guitar and do things like if I want to do like some kind of cinematic thing with lead guitar over it, and I can do that. And then I can do like a metal thing. But in Firewind, you have to kind of stick to a certain sound, and I like you're you're lucky if you can get your own sound to begin with.
Yeah.
And now that we have that, we have a thing that's I guess maybe that's the way I play guitar, the way that I write those riffs,
Mhm.
the way we make the melodies, a combination of both. Maybe that's what makes Firewind like a, my guitar playing with, combined with a, strong singer. Now, with that said, like I always try to inject small things into every record. Like you just mentioned actually Fallen Angel right before, and that's a good example because that song has a has different elements that you don't really hear in Firewind. It still sounds like a Firewind song, but for example, like after the chorus, there's like this modern metal type of breakdown part, this kind of
Mhm.
riff, with these sliding guitars, almost like this more modern stuff that bands are doing nowadays, for example. And
Mhm.
that's something we've not done before. Or there's some like synth 80s synth type of things. We've done that before, but not in such a way. A lot of themes that are dubbed with guitar and keyboards, different keyboard sounds. Um, so like I always try to add little small things here and there if the
Mhm.
song calls for it. Um, because I think once you have a sound, you should evolve it as well. You should try to do something with it and try to take it further,
Yeah.
develop it. Um, Otherwise, you're just making the same record over and over again, which is kind of boring, I think, after a while.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, it does have your records do have the ability when you go back to the early ones, you're going like, wow, this has grown, this has evolved, this has, like you want to see, I'm sure the communication between the band and just skills and your knowledge of a studio you said you like the process of it coming out. Do you like the process of making records?
Mm, not really. No,
Mhm.
it's exhausting.
Hmm.
Like because there's nothing. I like the part where I record solos
Hmm.
because that's like a creative part. That's like I sit down and that's when I really push myself like as a guitar player. That's the part of the recording where I'm like, okay, what can I do this time? Can I get any better? Can I come up with parts that I will need to practice later? That's like one part of it, like on the technical part of it. Like, can I come up with things that, you know, will develop my technique and my skills? And then there's like the other part of me, like, can I play the most divine melody that I've ever come up with? Can I do that now? Let's see.
Hmm.
So these are the questions I always ask myself when I track solos. But with like the rest of it, like sitting there through drum takes or or recording guitar like rhythm guitars and things like that, that's exhausting because it tires your ears because you
Yeah.
have to listen to every little detail and then editing and all those things. I don't enjoy that much. I love writing music, but like recording it like properly like in the studio, yeah,
When
not
you
so
do your
much.
solos, I mean, structure them's the wrong word, but do you basically write them before you go in and record? Do you go in with an idea, or do you just kind of let the moment take you there?
I always have an idea because I do pre-production before we do the actual production. So I've already recorded them once.
Hmm.
And they're more like free form, but sometimes these free form solos they have like I sometimes on the demos I'll work more on them and I already know what it is I'm gonna play. And other times I have no idea. Depends on the song. There's songs that I'm happy to have like by the end of the writing sessions, like I usually don't bother about solos. I'm like, okay, I'll figure that out when it's time.
Hmm.
But like the first few demos, when I start getting into it, I'll work them out. Yeah. And then during the final stages, like I'll improvise over the backing track and then construct them part by part, basically.
Oh, so you just like really will break it down to notes and measures of the solo? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like the first part, like that I'll just jam through it, like I'll do like a few run throughs and then okay, like is there something that I liked here? I'll just listen back, I'll do a few takes, listen back, and then keep what I like, and then just kind of like go back and focus on each part and then take it from there. Yeah.
Do you surprise yourself with that? Because I've heard stories of other guitarists doing that, listening to the tape and going, "What the hell how did I do that? Like what's that, what are those notes?"
Yeah, yeah, it has happened. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, of course. Of
Because
course.
I just can imagine with all of the it's just the sounds you get out of this
Because
thing.
when you're in the zone and you're just like improvising, like you're like, okay, this part, and you're just like doing take after take, and you're like, okay, sometimes I want to play something and I'm not getting it right, and then I'm like, I'll try something else, just whatever.
Hmm.
And then like that surprise factor comes in, and you're like, okay, what was that? I want to keep that, but what was it?
Yeah. And it's interesting for an instrument, 12 notes, six strings, how much variety you can get out of it. And does it still surprise you as an instrument, something musical to write with?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the magic of music, right? It's endless. It
Hmm.
really is endless. I mean, the guitar is endless, music is endless. Yeah, it still surprised me. Yeah, it still blows my mind. Like, and it's not like we're playing the most complicated music. We're not even like I said, we're not doing like jazz or atonal or anything.
Right.
It's it's fairly what's the word like? It's I guess yeah, it's Western music based on like major and minor scales.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what are you playing now? I know you played Washburn in the past. So
Oh, that was a long, long time ago.
okay, what do you want to now?
I've been with Jackson Guitar since 2016.
Okay. And so what is it about them that you like?
Um, well, first of all, it has to be the guitars.
Hmm.
Otherwise, there's no point.
Right.
And then, but because it's also like we are partners as well, and we make they make my signature guitars. It's very important for me to the guitars are really well made, and but also like the team of people, the communication between myself and the company and the things that that we plan to do with the guitars. And so it's like, and of course the brand, man, it's just cool to be part of such a legendary brand.
Certainly.
So it's a combination of things, I love the guitars, I love the people there, and yeah, and I love Jackson as a brand, and just it's like a very honorable thing to just be associated with them.
Do you record with one guitar, or do you kind of switch out for sounds and tones and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I try out different guitars. Like on this one, I recorded with, I think, three guitars, 3 or 4 guitars. I don't remember. Like I have one of my signatures has active pickups, so for the heavier things, I tried that, and then I did some other stuff with my other model, the San Dimas model, that had like passive pickups for more crunchy tones. And then for cleans, I don't remember what I used, but then I used also like a Randy Rhoads guitar that had like a Floyd Rose or some tremolo stuff I wanted to do. Yeah.
And I noticed on your website that you are selling pickups.
Oh yeah, that's my side hustle.
Yeah, it's a good one. What are those? What's the sound you're getting out of those? What was the thing that you were like, I need to develop this? This doesn't exist already.
It's not so much of a thing that it doesn't exist, but it was more like my own take on existing pickups and my own version of them, like in terms sonically wise, like in terms of EQ and frequency wise. So yeah, like about 4 years ago, I started doing that. So yeah, I basically started working with a factory over in Asia, and they just made me a bunch of prototypes, and we settled for a couple of different pickups. And I, I reached out to Jackson and I said, could we put these on my signature guitars? And that was like a first for them as well, because usually they will buy pickups from the big manufacturers.
Right.
And they were like, we're not done it before, but with somebody, but it'll be cool. So, that was like one of the unique features that my guitars have. They actually have my own pickups, like it's my own company.
Right.
Yeah.
It really makes that signature, that idea of a signature model, like an actual signature model. It's not you're picking stuff up off of the floor.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
That's great. So the last question for me, you went to Berklee School of Music for 1 week, 2 weeks?
No, I think about a month or
okay. Oh, please. So
stay there forever.
yeah. You learn anything while you were there in that month? Or was it just instructors' names and
yeah, no, I mean, I learned that I wanted to get out. Nothing against the school or anything, of course. Actually, I had a really good teacher. There was a Joe Stump, who now plays with Alcatraz. He was my guitar teacher for when he came to the performance parts. But yeah, I think I dropped out after 3 weeks. Yeah. And so I made my decision really quickly. I mean, looking back now, I was just crazy. I was just 18, and I don't know what was going through my head. I mean, I don't know what I would do today if you put me in a situation like that right now. But yeah, I just got up and left, man. I had a scholarship. I just returned it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna form a band and make a record and get a record deal. I was too ambitious, I guess. I mean, not really thinking of the plan B, like what happens if that thing doesn't work out.
Do you need a plan B, do you think? Or is it better to go in with, is that kind of like that preparing to fail thing? It's like, I got to go in with, I got to burn the boats. I got to just be here and deal with this.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it didn't matter. There was no plan B. I'm not regretting that there was no plan B. It just had to be like that for me. I'm not saying it's going to be the same for anybody. I'm not suggesting that anyone should follow my path, but that's what worked out for me. And that was my mindset back then. And I'm pretty much like that in my life. I've been all my life like that. You know, I was like, when I set out to do something, like my decision is like, you know, like it's a contract till a contract till death. Like I have to, like, this is what I'm doing. Like,
United, the new album by Firewind, is available this Friday, March 1st, wherever you get your records. For more information, you can find the band online at firewind.gr, or you can find them on Facebook, where they're at facebook.com/firewindofficial.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website at rockandrollgradschool.com, and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and Heidi Hedquist. Our reluctant producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thank you, good night, and may all your favorite bands stay together.